Hi everybody, thanks for joining me today on my channel. My name is Chris with Kristen's Crafts, and today we are bringing you a fun hop from the Scrappy Inspiration Group. This is called Dog Days of Summer. Basically what we're doing is either scrapbooking a fun layout about our dogs if we want, or about summer itself and the hot days of summer and the fun activities that we do. So I chose to go back into my stash. This is photos from 2008 of my dog Joe when we were at our camper. So I decided that I really wanted to bring out the florals that are in the background of the photo. We had some really cool wildflowers growing that year, and so I just really wanted to show off the colors, and also, Joe's coloring being black and brown, I just kind of wanted to pull that all in. So I decided to go with this cream color background paper that has like a stitched sunflower in it. And then what I'm going to do is take a 4.5 band of both the sunflower paper and the striped yellow paper, and I'm going to put that behind each of these photos, running the two on going from one side and the one going from the other. Now you're going to see that I'm going to actually switch this all up. As I start gluing everything down, I realize that Joe is looking off the page, and I really want him looking into the page. So after I adhere this down, I end up moving things. So before I do that though, I am going to ink all the edges. So I'm inking Joe here, and then I'm going to ink the sunflower paper. And I'm going to start to glue that down, and that's when I look at the picture and realize, no, I don't like it looking off the page. So I decide that I'm going to flip it, and I'm going to move his photo up above and then the double photos down below. Now the nice thing about using ATG is that as long as you don't push it down hard, it's pretty forgiving and you can peel it up pretty good. So I don't have any problem just going and switching this around. Now you're going to see in a moment, I'm going to switch those bands once again, because what I'm going to do is go in and I'm going to find from my stash puffy words from Rosie Studios, and they had some really great phrases that I thought really described my dog and the relationship I have with him. But I found that they were getting lost on that sunflower paper. So even though I really wanted the flowers to be a big element to pull out the flowers that are in the photos, I didn't like how that was looking and blending in. So after I looked at it for a minute, I decided to pull it all back up again, and I'm actually going to put the yellow striped paper behind Joe and the sunflower pictures down below where the double mat of Joe is. So here I'm just kind of redoing everything again. And as you can see, it all came up pretty good, and I really didn't have a lot of issues with rematting it. So now that I'm happy with that, I'm just going to go ahead and finish inking. I just ink it all around the edge, and it really helps to have it all stand up against the background. So now I'm going to go ahead and start putting these words down, and I chose words that said curious, smart, brave, silly, and mine. Now you're going to see that I'm going to struggle with the ascenders and descenders on this one because they're very loopy, and then there wasn't a lot of stick in here, and so what ended up happening is they were shifting, and I did kind of, have to struggle with that. So while I'm doing that, let me just remind you to, after the video, go into the description box down below. We will have the links for everyone who is playing along today. And again, they could be bringing you a layout about their dogs. They could be bringing you a layout about summer, or they might be bringing you a layout about their dogs in summer. It's all totally up to them on how they want to interpret the dog days of summer. Now, I hope that you decide that you want to play along too, and let's see what you can do with yours as well. So now that I kind of have them where I want them, I'm just going to go ahead and move on. When I actually glue these down off camera, here I'm still shifting around. When off camera, I will actually go and glue them down, and they actually do fit pretty good. I tried to see if I could fit them in better, switching the words around, and it wasn't any better, so I just went back to how they originally were. And again, I'll just play with them off camera at the end when I actually glue them down. So now that I'm done messing around with those, I decided to take a couple of my Vicky Bouton sticker sheets, and I'm going to find a phrase that says, "Days like this make life sweet." And I'm going to put that at the bottom of the photo. I'm also going to find a label that says, "Today was the best." And any day that I could spend with my dog and be at our camper was a good day. I'm going to sprinkle some of these butterflies around to kind of fill in the gaps. And I'm really trying hard not to have your typical dog layout. I really didn't want to have to go into the stash and have it themey. I was trying to use my regular stash to have really nice pictures of, or a really nice layout of him. I love these pictures. So up on the top right hand corner, I have a tab that says details. And then I'm now going in and putting some more of the puffies. I've got one that's a butterfly, and then I grab another one that is a leaf, and I'm going to put that underneath an arrow that says my favorite. And I used to call Joe my favorite child, so just to give you a clue. I don't know if my kids appreciate it as much, but he was my good boy. So now I'm looking at it and I'm feeling like the top cluster is on that sunflower paper is really detached from the bottom. So I go into my stash and I pull in this craft envelope, and I'm going to now pull everything down and build my cluster onto that envelope. It's a great base and it really helps to define it, whereas before it kind of felt a little disconnected. So now that I'm happy with the base, I'm going and putting phrase stickers on there that say play, happiness, adore, and together. And now I'm going and trying to fill in the gap in that yellow paper. So I grab one of the Vicky Bouton Storyteller chipboards that is a bird, and I'm going to put him perched on the word silly. I'm going into my Paige Evans stickers from the Wonder Collection, and I am going to grab 3 flowers, put one on the craft envelope, one underneath the bird, and then another one up above under that details tab. And so it's kind of spread it out. Now I've got kind of a diagonal design going. Here, I'm grabbing one more, and I have it here. So now that I'm happy with that, the last thing that I'm going to do is go into my Spiegelman Scraps sequence, and I'm going to grab out my Ice Cream Dreams sequence mix that I just recently got in a stash. And I'm going to pick out the green ones to kind of bring in a little bit of that green that is in the background of the photos. Now, off camera, I will go and glue everything down and make sure it all sits good. And the other thing is, you see in that upper photo, I put Joe's name there. So I have Joey. And so now it's kind of Joey and then the title of Curious, Smart, Brave, Silly, and Mine. I want to thank you all for stopping by and joining in today. Please make sure you check out everybody that's in the hop. And you all have a great day. And thanks so much for stopping by. Bye.